Let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. That specific, unspoken dread that kind of creeps in right before a big family event you have to go to. Look, it's more than just being an introvert. It's a real, genuine psychological thing. And today we're going to break down exactly what's going on inside your brain. Does this sound familiar? The thought of sitting through another family dinner is so intense that a miserable, back-breaking chore for someone you don't even know actually feels like the better option. If you've ever had a thought even close to this, trust me, you are not alone. It's not just a bad mood, it's a real signal your brain is sending you. And here it is, the absolute heart of the matter. Your mind knows, it feels, the difference between showing up because you want to and showing up because you feel like you have to. That little distinction, it changes everything. It can turn what should be a nice get-together into something your brain actually registers as a threat. So let's figure out why. Okay, so let's get into the diagnosis. What is it really about these gatherings that makes them so uniquely difficult? Well, it usually boils down to a few very common, very predictable triggers. If reading any of these made you physically cringe, yeah, you get it. It's this total barrage of awkward questions, unsolicited advice, and just cringeworthy moments that puts our whole nervous system on high alert before we've even had a single bite of food. And these aren't just little annoyances. They're basically the opening act for a much deeper psychological drama that's about to unfold. So this brings us to the science behind one of the weirdest parts of going home for the holidays. It's that involuntary trip your brain takes back in time, where suddenly you're a younger, less powerful version of yourself. You walk through the door and boom, it happens instantly. Maybe it's the smell of that one candle your mom has been burning since 2003, or the sound of the TV being just a little too loud, and just like that, you're a kid again. You're sitting at the kids' table just hoping nobody pays too much attention to you. This isn't just a feeling, you guys, it's a real neurological event. The actual science behind this feeling is incredible. Researchers found that your amygdala, that's the fear center of your brain, it responds to your childhood home in the exact same way it did when you were a kid. So you're not just being dramatic, it's a chemical reaction happening in your brain. It's called regression. Now, to make things even more complicated, let's talk about something called family systems theory. The idea here is that families aren't just a bunch of individuals. They're these complex emotional systems where everybody gets assigned a role you never even auditioned for, right? Are you the responsible one, the funny one, the rebel? And that's the real kicker. It doesn't matter that you've grown up, that you've built your own life, that you're a totally different person now. The second you step back into that house, the family system tries to pull you right back into that old character. It's like its software never got the update. It just expects you to play your part. So, if you're suddenly feeling like your 12-year-old self and being pushed into a role you outgrew years ago, what do? Well, you perform. And that performance, it comes at a really, really high cost. I mean, this is the reality of it, right? You put on the mask, you go through the motions, the forced smiles, the awkward hugs, the polite laughter at a joke that just wasn't funny. You're not actually connecting with anyone. You're acting. Your internal feelings are completely separate from your external behavior. And trying to bridge that gap is just exhausting. There's a name for this, by the way. It's called emotional labor. It's the exact same kind of energy that flight attendants or customer service reps have to use all day long. You're managing your own emotions just to manage the emotions of everyone else. And at family gatherings, you're doing it to keep the peace and just survive the role you've been put in. And the exhaustion from all this, it's on another level. It's not the kind of tired a nap can fix. It's a deep, down-to-your-soul kind of drain. It is exactly why you might need to just sit in your car for 20 minutes, steeling yourself before you even walk in the door. That performance costs real, actual energy. So this brings us to the emotional fallout from all this. Because it's not just about being tired. It's also about the very real hurt these interactions can cause. And then the heavy, heavy guilt that almost always follows. Now get ready for this because this is absolutely wild. Neuroscientists at UCLA scanned people's brains, and they found that social rejection, like being criticized or left out at the dinner table, it lights up the very same parts of the brain as physical pain. So when you say leaving a family gathering hurt, you are speaking a literal biological truth. Your brain agrees. And a lot of that pain comes from our boundaries being steamrolled, usually under the guise of love. I mean, in any other situation, these comments would be completely out of line. But within a family, they're often defended with phrases like, "Oh, I'm just concerned," which puts you in a terrible position. Either accept it or get labeled as too sensitive. But maybe the sneakiest, most painful part of this whole thing is the guilt. After all the frustration and the hurt, this little voice creeps in and makes you blame yourself. You feel bad for not wanting to go. Then you feel bad for not enjoying it while you're there. And then you feel this confusing relief when it's finally over. It's a draining, vicious cycle. Okay, we've gone through the problem, we understand the regression, the roles, the emotional labor, the pain, the guilt. Now for the important part. What can we actually do about it? Let's switch from diagnosis to a practical survival guide. Here's a super simple, easy to remember toolkit. The 3 S's. First, shorter. Don't sign up for an all-day marathon. Give yourself a time limit. Go for 2 hours and then leave on your own terms. Second, safer. Bring an ally, a partner, a friend who gets it, or have a planned exit strategy, like a phone call you have to take. And finally, selective. You do not have to go to every single event. You are allowed to choose. And here's the crucial mindset shift. We need to reframe the goal. The point isn't to be perfect or to endure pain just to fulfill an obligation. The real goal is to find ways to be there that actually let you show up as yourself. We're aiming for sustainable connection, not perfect attendance. And if there is one thing you take away from all of this, please let it be this. If this has resonated with you at all, you need to hear this. Feeling this way does not mean something is wrong with you. You're having a normal, predictable, and scientifically backed reaction to a really complex situation. You're not broken. You never were. So I'll just leave you with this question. This isn't about fixing your entire family overnight or becoming a whole new person. Just think about one small, achievable thing you can do. Maybe it's just setting that 2-hour time limit. Maybe it's deciding ahead of time not to answer an intrusive question. What is one small step you can take to protect your peace?